And a happy Friday, television family. It is the last day of the work week. It's the last day of the month. March comes our way this weekend, and it's going to be a good-looking weekend. 28th day of February 2025. I am Dan Kuntz. Beautiful morning, 34 degrees, just a couple of high clouds. That's all we have to deal with. If you liked yesterday's weather, and I certainly did, we hit 51, although it did feel warmer, didn't it? You get out in the sunshine in the mid to late afternoon, and it just feels warmer. It's because we're not used to it. Going to do it all over again today. Going to do it all over again on Saturday. A little bit of a shift in the pattern on Sunday as the ridge of high pressure begins to move out of the area. Going to allow for a few more clouds on Sunday. There'll be a pain in our area. There's a low pressure system that's going to come up from the south. It's going to give some locations rain, but nothing here. The only difference between Saturday and Sunday is we're going to have clouds on Sunday, and then we go right back to the sunshine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Really good looking weather forecast. A lot of things going on this weekend, both indoors and outdoors, and you're going to want to get out and enjoy it. It's going to start feeling like spring, no question about that. Weather, yes, sports, just a lot of sports, a lot of news. It's a busy show today. It's a scenario that happens occasionally. We have 5 pounds worth of programming in a 4-pound bag to put it in. We will do our very best. In the back half of the program, you'll see this. You see there's a chair next to me. That chair will be occupied by our good friend Alan Walker, the executive director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. Lots to talk about with Alan, and a very unique and very cool fundraiser, something that's never been done here in the Wenatchee Valley for the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council is coming up in the middle of April. This is a great idea. I can't wait to talk to Alan about this. Just a little tease. You don't want to miss that, especially if you're into throwing yourself down the side of a building. That's all I'm going to say. Alan will join me in the back half of the program. It is the last day of February, and so the Climate Prediction Center says what's going to happen in March? The long-term forecast, now this is subject to change, of course, but the folks at the Climate Prediction Center, they're pretty good at this. So out comes what they think will be our regular temperatures and our normal precipitation for the month of March of this year. As you can see, the temperature outlook, we are leaning below normal temperatures. So our afternoon highs for the month of March as a whole, averaging out, will probably be a little bit below our normal afternoon highs. If you want the heat, head down to Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and of course Florida, where it's always warm. So it's going to be a little cooler than normal for the month of March. What about precipitation? Well, perhaps a little wetter than normal for the month of March. It looks like it's going to be hot and dry in West Texas, New Mexico, and right on into Arizona. So it looks like right now, and again, it's subject to change, but they're pretty good. The Climate Prediction Center folks there, they have a pretty good batting average. Right now, for the month of March as a whole, looks like it's going to be slightly cooler than normal and slightly wetter than normal. Of course, we shall see. That's the long-term forecast for the next 7 days. I got no complaints. Here it is, folks. Lots of sunshine today, 53 our forecast high. Again, we hit 51 yesterday. Our normal high is 46, and we're over the 11-hour mark starting today. Sunrise this morning happened at 6:42, sunset tonight, 5:45. That's 11 hours and 3 minutes of daylight, and you're going to want to enjoy all of it. Overnight low of about 33. Our normal overnight low is about that, right around there, right around 31, 32, so normal. Sunshine almost all day Saturday with a high of 51. A few clouds Saturday night, 35 for the overnight low. Sunday is when this low pressure system is on track to move into our area. So on Sunday, it's going to be fairly cloudy with a high of 52 degrees. It'll be cloudy Sunday night, and then we go right back to partly sunny skies, kind of half clouds, half sun, going back and forth on Monday and Tuesday, with highs in the lower 50s. Wednesday, nothing but sunshine. Same deal with Thursday. This is a good-looking forecast. Again, beautiful day today, beautiful day Saturday. Very nice on Sunday too, temperature-wise, but not a lot of sunshine, and then sunshine returns and it's going to hang around as we say hello to March, and it is good to see you, March. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break, so grab your cup of coffee and come right back and join us. We'll let you know what's making headlines on this Friday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Outside of a few high clouds, quite a bit of sunshine. We're right at that freezing mark, 32 degrees. We're going to be 20 degrees warmer by the end of the day today, lower 50s. Beautiful day today, lots of sunshine. Same deal Saturday. We're going to cloud up but still be fairly mild on Sunday, and then it looks like lots of sunshine for the balance of next week as well. It's 7 minutes after the hour. 2 men convicted in the October 2022 murder of 2 siblings on the Colville Indian Reservation were sentenced on Wednesday to life in prison for those crimes. 24-year-old Zachary Holt and 36-year-old Desmonique Tensley. They were also found guilty last year of attempting to murder a federal officer who was part of the manhunt that tracked them down. The 2 men shot and killed Gail and Jeremy Neal in Keller, Idaho, as part of a robbery and home invasion rampage. It began on the Nez Perce Reservation in Idaho and ended up on Colville lands. During the high-speed chase, Holt shot a Colville police officer who was deputized as a federal agent. He got shot in the arm. He's okay. Richard Barker, the acting U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Washington, said the conclusion of the case was gratifying.
It was a very dangerous, volatile situation, and I'm so impressed and proud of the law enforcement officers that came together to seek and bring justice on behalf of the Neal family and the officers in this case. I'm also really grateful for the partnerships and the work of so many different law enforcement agencies that came together that day to ensure that we had the resources necessary to address what was really an active shooter situation on the Colville Reservation, where you had 3 individuals who were at large and who were responsible for shooting and killing the Neals, and also had participated in shooting at law enforcement.
Helion, a Washington-based fusion company, announced interest in acquiring some property out in the Malaga area. They want to build the world's first ever fusion power plant. They had a press conference yesterday morning at the Chelan PUD headquarters. Helion is looking to develop a 50-megawatt fusion power plant on PUD-owned land on the Chelan County side of the Columbia River to fulfill a power purchase agreement with Microsoft. Though this is not yet an official site selection, no permits have been filed with the county yet, Helion plans to host an event to broaden the discussion to community members. So if you're interested, you can go to the event. It'll be on March 11th, beginning at 5:30 at Mission View Elementary. An East Wenatchee man who was previously institutionalized for kidnapping attempt is back in custody. 56-year-old John Alvin Graff walked away from his East Wenatchee home back on February 9th, and he was homeless until he was arrested on Monday. Graff was hospitalized for mental health treatment from 2013 to 2022. after pleading not guilty by reason of insanity to a kidnapping charge. He is not a sex offender, but he is required by a court order to register where his whereabouts are with law enforcement. Judge Brian Huber ordered Graff jailed on a $10,000 bond on a Douglas County charge of failing to register. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson yesterday outlined nearly $4 billion worth of cuts and savings that he hopes to excise from the state budget. The savings strategies include monthly one-day furloughs for most state workers for the next couple of years, worker furloughs, temporary closing wards on one state hospital, and removing $51 million in special appropriations for the executive branch. Washington is facing a roughly $15 billion budget deficit over the next 4 years. Ferguson says his plan, combined with reductions put in place by his predecessor, Jay Inslee, would offset about half that figure.
It is important to contextualize today's announcement. First, I want to emphasize our work, my work, our team's work is not done. We have not had much time to go through a very large budget. We need more time to go even deeper. That's what we're going to be doing for the next 2 months. While we are not proposing a full budget today, of course, it's fair to say that we did months of work in a few weeks. Second, these are not, of course, final decisions. These are proposals that we are making to the legislature for their consideration. We will, of course, be working with both parties over the next 2 months to resolve our budget issues.
The city of East Wenatchee is looking for a volunteer representative to join the Greater Wenatchee Public Facilities District Board. That's the board that oversees the Town Toyota Center, and their representative from East Wenatchee would have a vote on that board. The city says the board member would need to understand government finance, economic development, and regional collaboration, as their decisions have, and I'm quoting now, long-term financial consequences for the region. End quote. Eligible candidates, you have to live within the confines of the East Wenatchee city limits. You have to have a professional experience in areas like public administration, finance, or tourism, and you cannot have conflicts of interest or be a member of a legislative body. Applications are due on March 24th by 5 p.m. For more information, you can go to the City of East Wenatchee's website. And Chelan County Commissioners this week approved a change to the speed limit on a section of Easy Street off Highway 2 near Monitor. The change made on Tuesday applies to about a half-a-mile stretch of Easy Street where the speed limit has been set at 25 miles an hour. The county resolution ups that limit to 35 miles per hour. The change goes into effect as soon as they put the signs in. Josh Patrick, Assistant Director of Chelan County Public Works, says traffic counts on the road show that most drivers were already pretty much ignoring the posted speed limit anyway. Most of Easy Street between Wenatchee and Monitor has an upper speed limit of around 40 miles an hour. And that's the news at 13 minutes after the hour. We wrap up what's been a busy week with one more busy newscast. Tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCWLIFE Evening News, 5, 6, and 10 on television. If that doesn't fit into your schedule or you're unplugged and all of your television consumption is via the internet, that's cool. We got you there. Our news will be posted on our homepage, ncwlife.com. It'll be posted on our YouTube page. It'll be in our Facebook page. You can't miss it. We try to make it as accessible as possible. Our QR code, which I now learn means quick response, I didn't know that, is right there on the screen. And if something out there warrants our attention, don't hesitate. We would love to hear from you. Send us an email if you got a news tip for us, news@ncwlife.com. Not surprisingly, it's a busy Sports Friday, and I'm going to prove that I'm not a liar in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience Taste Chelan. 16 of the Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and Epicurean delights. With 4 unique winery tracks and 5 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure, so don't wait. Tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today. It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The Special Olympics Washington Winter Games returns to the Wenatchee Valley for the 35th year, the weekend of February 28. 900 volunteers are needed to assist more than 1,200 participants and coaches throughout its 3-day run. From assisting on the slopes of Mission Ridge to keeping score of basketball games, no special skill is required. To volunteer, please visit the website on the screen.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if only you had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties, Mary Maids, let us help.
16 minutes after the hour in sports, the Mariners played 2 yesterday, but it wasn't a doubleheader. A split squad traveled to Surprise and got shut out by the Rangers 8-0. Harry Ford and Tyler Locklear each tallied 2 hits for Seattle. Other Mariner players stayed in Peoria, and their offense did just about the same. The Mariners managed just 1 run in the first 6 innings, including an RBI triple from Ryan Bliss that may or may not have been caught.
Here's the 2-1. Swung on, lifted, center field, hit well. Lee is back. He's at the track, goes to a slide, and he makes a sliding, tumbling catch. No catch. Around third base is Hunt. He's going to score. Bliss into third. The throw goes over the head of the third baseman off the Mariners dugout. And Bliss is safe at third.
That first base umpire.
The umpire says he was out. Well, there's no replay down here, so whatever they decide in this conversation is what they decide. So
let's see.
It's a triple.
It's a triple. Good for him.
Maybe they should have instant replay. The games don't count anyway. The full squad, by the way, will face the Padres in Peoria tonight at 5:40. Women's college basketball last night. The Cougar women closed out their regular season with 3 straight wins, including last night's 57-49 victory over Pepperdine. Eastern Washington fell for the 3rd game in a row. They lost to Weber State 67-65. The Gonzaga Bulldogs never trailed. They beat Pacific 72-56. So that's what happened. Here's what's going to happen. Your schedule. Eastern will take on Idaho State at 1 o'clock on ESPN Plus tomorrow. Gonzaga will be at Santa Clara at 2 o'clock on ESPN Plus tomorrow. Women's college basketball. Sunday, Oregon and Washington will do battle in Seattle at 2 o'clock. And the big one. Haley Van Lith and number 10 TCU at number 17 Baylor. The winner wins the Big 12 regular season title. These 2 teams do not like one another. Check it out Sunday, 3:30 on FS1. Men's college basketball, Eastern Washington. It's been a tough year for the Eagles. They lost on a tip-in the last second. 66-64 to Weber State last night. Washington State let a big halftime lead slip away, but they held on to beat San Diego 93-86. Men's schedule for the weekend, all on Saturday. Idaho State, by the way, it's the end of the regular season for almost all of these schools. Then it's postseason tournament time in their respective conferences. Eastern Washington will host Idaho State tomorrow on ESPN Plus. Indiana will be at Washington at 3 o'clock. You can watch that on Peacock if you have it, and I got it. The Cougars will be in Malibu to take on Pepperdine at 7 o'clock on ESPN Plus, and Gonzaga and San Francisco in the Bay, 8 o'clock on ESPN. The Seattle Kraken take on the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow. They're looking to break a 3-game home losing streak. Seattle has gone 25-31-4 overall. They are 7-9-1 in the division. Vancouver is 9-7-2 in the division and 27-21-11 overall. The puck drops tomorrow night at 7 on Kong TV. All right, here we go. It's the regional round of the state basketball championships. 2 weekends, this weekend and next weekend. For number 16 seed Eastmont, they have to win every game to stay alive. They'll take on number 9 seed Meade at Central Valley High School in Spokane tomorrow at 6 o'clock in a loser-out game. In girls 1A action, Kashmir is a number 7 seed. They'll take on Bellevue Christian, a number 2 seed. That will be in Issaquah today at 8 o'clock. Both teams will move on, regardless if they win or they lose, but you still have to win the championship. Girls 2B. Mount Vernon is a number 6 seed. They will take on number 3 seed Brewster at Wenatchee High School tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Okanagan chimes in as a number 15 seed. They will take on 10th seeded Liberty at Central Valley High School tomorrow afternoon at 4. In girls 1B, number 7 PL and number 2 Waterville Mansfield. The Waterville Shockers, a 2 seed. We'd like that. They'll do battle at Wenatchee High School at 12 noon tomorrow. Pateros is a number 8 seed. They'll take on the number 1 seed, the Nia Bay Girls at Mount Tahoma High School tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. In boys 1A action, number 16 seed Tenino will take on number 9 seeded Chelan in a loser-out game. That's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium. And La Center is the number 14 seed. They will take on the 11 seeded Kashmir Bulldogs also at Wenatchee High School at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Boys 2B, LaSalle is the number 14 seed in their bracket. Okanagan is the number 11 seed. They will play tonight at Wenatchee High School at 8 o'clock. That is a loser-out game. Mount Vernon Christian is the 15th seed in the Boys 2B tournament. Liberty Bell is the number 10 seed. The winner of that will move on. That'll be at Wenatchee High School tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And in Cheney, the number 5 seed Lake Roosevelt will take on the number 4 seed Colfax. Both of those teams will move on to state. But again, to win state, you got to win them all. You can't lose a game and still win the state championship. The Wenatchee Wild have another big weekend. 2 in a row, and it's 3 games in 3 days. They'll be in Spokane to take on the red-hot Chiefs tonight at 7:05. Tomorrow, it is Hockey Fights Cancer. It's a biggin. Tri-City Americans at Wenatchee at the Town Toyota Center, 6 o'clock on Saturday, and they wrap up their weekend against Vancouver in Vancouver at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Wenatchee trails Seattle by 2 points for the 8th and final playoff spot. And, of course, Bighorns basketball. Their 3rd season begins tomorrow, and we will have it for you. At the W.B. Smith Gymnasium, the Willamette Valley Jaguars will take on the Wenatchee Bighorns. Broadcast 6:45, tip-off at 7 o'clock, as we mentioned yesterday. They're going to have live music. They're going to have a beer garden. They're going to have wine. They're going to have food in the parking lot beginning at 5 o'clock right outside the W.B. Smith Gymnasium parking lot. And there you go. Looking forward to that. Grant Olson with the call, too, and he does it well. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 22 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday, a couple of holidays I want to get out of the way right now. It is Skip the Straw Day. I almost never use straws, so not a problem there. National Tooth Fairy Day. They actually do them twice a year because you're supposed to have your teeth cleaned and a full dental checkup twice a year, so they do National Tooth Fairy twice a year. We'll do the one in the summertime. It's National Floral Design Day. It's National Chocolate Souffle Day. But today is, and I think we're all guilty of this, today is National Public Sleeping Day. I think at one point or another, everybody has fallen asleep in public. Now, falling asleep on an airplane on a long flight, where most people do sleep, or like a red-eye flight, is that really sleeping in public? I don't think so. My most memorable falling asleep in public was a doubleheader in Oakland, the Mariners and the A's at the old Coliseum. This was a long time ago, 25 years ago. It was a doubleheader, beautiful, warm afternoon. Beer may have played a role in it. We sat down the third base line about 15 rows up. So that's where the sun was, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful day, about 80 degrees. Gobs of sunshine, my buddy and I kicked back, and sometime during the middle innings of the first game of the doubleheader between the beer and the sun, we fell asleep for a couple of hours anyway. Of course, sleep is just as important as exercise or a healthy diet. If you want to live long, you're supposed to get enough sleep. Divorced and widowed people report more insomnia than people who are happily married. Oh, that's good. I like that. People who don't get enough sleep tend to eat more during the day. Research shows people sleep better during a new moon than a full moon. Of course, humans are the only mammals that can delay sleep on purpose. You can just drink coffee until you get all wired up. During the Middle Ages, getting up in the middle of the night was normal. People way back in the day, they would sleep 8 hours a day. They would sleep in 2 4-hour chunks. That's how they used to do it. In some factory towns in England back in the day, before alarm clocks, there was a person whose job it was to go door to door to knock on the windows and the doors of the factory workers to wake them up to get to work. Some studies have shown that dreaming in color was more common before color TV was invented. About 75% of people surveyed say they dream in color. I really don't know if I dream in color. I just don't. I probably do, I just don't remember it. So today is the day, if you want to fall asleep in public, go at it. It's a national holiday. You cannot be arrested, I don't think. 25 minutes after the hour. Today in history, all the television manufacturers and the networks and the broadcast stations decided, okay, we have a standard that we're all going to use, so everybody uses the same standard. What we used to call the NTSC standard. And once that standard was established across the board, it was time to crank out color TV. February 28th, 1954, 71 years ago today, the first color television set using the NTSC standard goes on sale, and that is it. It is the Westinghouse H840CK15. What would it run you in 1954, 71 years ago today? Retail price $1,295. That is the equivalent to a little over $15,000 today. Would you spend $15,000 on a color television set? Nobody did. It was an abject failure because over the next dozen years, almost every network broadcast and all local programming was in black and white. So you could have all the color televisions you wanted to have, but none of the programming was in color. It didn't go over very well. And then, of course, they got better. Speaking of television, I remember this day very well, February 28th, 1983. 42 years ago today, the final episode of MASH aired on CBS Monday night. 106 million viewers. It was the most watched television broadcast in American history at the time. Of course, it's been passed by various Super Bowls, but it still holds the record for the highest rated television broadcast of all time. That's the percentage of televisions tuned in to that particular program. A 60.2 rating, a 77 share in the world of television. That's unheard of. MASH bids farewell on this date 42 years ago today. 34 years ago today, February 28th, 1991, the first Gulf War ends. And for those of you who don't remember, we won. They invaded Kuwait. We said can't do that. We took care of business. Iraq was defeated. Kuwait was free. And it was a done deal. It started in January, ended February 28th, 1991. Not a particularly long war. And I remember this day, and if you were around, you remember this day. February 28th, 2001, 24 years ago today. It was a beautiful day in Wenatchee. Gorgeous day, lots of sun, kind of like what today is going to be. Lots of sunshine. I was doing a double shift in radio at the time. I did the morning show, and then I did the afternoon show at two different radio stations. I was taking my midday break. I was sitting on my back patio, reading a book in the warm sunshine, and about a minute before the Nisqually quake hit the Wenatchee Valley, and we felt it, my bird, my cockatiel in her cage, Belle, started going nuts. She was making all kinds of crazy noises that she had never made before. She was jumping all over her cage. It was so unlike Belle. I went into my house immediately and said, what's going on? And she was just freaking out, and then she calmed down. And I thought that was interesting. I went back out, I sat back down, I started reading my book, and about 30 seconds later, it hit. We could feel it here. It was pretty obvious. The Nisqually earthquake, only one person died. They had a heart attack, but it did a lot of damage. You remember that? That was on this date back in 2001. Let's do some birthdays. A remarkable man who not only got one Nobel Prize, he got two Nobel Prizes for two entirely different disciplines. Linus Pauling, one of the greatest scientists of all time, got the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1954. 8 years later, for his peace activism, he got the Nobel Peace Prize in 1962, one of only four people to have won more than one Nobel Prize in two entirely different disciplines, chemistry and peace. Linus Pauling, born in the state in 1901. The man who founded the Rolling Stones, Brian Jones, of course, he's a member of the 27 Club, drowned in his backyard swimming pool in 1969. He was born in the state in 1942. As Bill Wyman said of Brian Jones, he formed the band. He got the band together. He chose the members. He named the band the Rolling Stones. He chose their repertoire. He got them gigs. He got them an agent. He was essentially the founder and the leader until, well, he couldn't write songs, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards could. Brian Jones would eventually have his role diminished to the point where he was fired from the band, and a couple weeks later he would be dead. But if it wasn't for Brian Jones, we wouldn't have the Rolling Stones. And the only driver ever to win the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, and the Formula One World Championship, the legendary Mario Andretti. He still owns cars, he's still out there doing it, and he's still driving at 85. Not bad. Happy birthday, Mario Andretti. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. You know it's going to happen. We're going to switch from your HVAC system making your house nice and cozy and warm to your HVAC system making your house nice and cool when the heat comes. Are you ready for the transition? Is your system ready for the transition? Give Alpine Air a call if you think something might be cattywampus, or maybe you just want a whole new HVAC system anyway. Today's HVAC systems are pretty remarkable. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike Magnotti says when you're arrested in real life, it's nothing like it is on television. Mike Magnotti's opinion is coming up, and then live in studio, Alan Walker, the executive director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. We have a lot to talk about with Alan. He'll be joining me live when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station based right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Be sure to tune in for coverage of local sports. Once again, this spring we'll bring you Prep Boys soccer, baseball, and softball. In addition, we're adding Wenatchee Bighorn basketball in March, April, and May. It's all right here on the NCWLIFE channel, our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as our website at ncwlife.com. Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less.
The end is near. The final days are here for the historic going out of business sale at Crown Furniture in Wenatchee. Yes, after 60 years, we're closing forever in a matter of days. With so much great furniture still on hand, we invite you in for some friendly negotiation on price. Just find what you like and negotiate. If you're reasonable, it's yours. Negotiate on living rooms, on dining rooms, on bedrooms, mattress sets, fine leather, and more. If you're reasonable, it's yours. The final days mean the greatest savings at Crown Furniture. After 60 years, closing the doors and going out of business forever.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, when I was a cop in Wenatchee for 20 years, I have to admit, I'm a junkie for TV shows, was then, am now. TV shows and movies. I have seen every episode of Hill Street Blues, every episode of Law & Order, Blue Bloods, and NYPD Blue. Now, I've watched these things so often that my wife thinks I'm demented. And the one thing I've noticed about all these shows, the one common denominator is that it is incredibly easy to handcuff people on TV. I don't care what the bad guy is doing, fighting, running. As soon as they're tackled or thrown to the ground or pushed against a fence, their hands immediately go behind their back. And then the cuffs are applied effortlessly. It's like a miracle. Too bad it wasn't like that in real life. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on two wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected 4-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
And we are back. Welcome back to the program. A big hand for Doc Severinsen and the NCWLIFE Channel Orchestra. They'll be opening for Ruth Buzzy at State Line, Nevada this weekend if you want to check it out. Thank you very much, Doc. My guest this morning needs no introduction.
Thank you. Good to be here this morning, Dan. I'm at, who am I? Who am I? Yes, Alan Walker with the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. Very glad to be on the show this morning.
Good to see you, my friend. We have a lot to talk. We had a lot of catching up to do. Last time you and I talked, we just did a little a reminder about the Empty Bowls campaign. The painting part of the campaign was in its final stage. I think you had one more painting party. Now that's all done. Now it's just a matter of burning them up and glazing them up and getting them out. So Empty Bowls. Another big year for you guys?
A huge year for us. I believe 636 people painted bowls this year.
That's got to be a record.
It is a record for us. So this is, I believe, year 12 for the Empty Bowls event. So it was a fantastic year. Sponsors really came out. Our prime sponsor, Coca-Cola, really stepped up to the plate this year and was a huge sponsor for us. And then all the people that showed up to paint the bowls. So yes, a record year for us.
Across generations, across social economic ladders, it didn't matter. The most important thing to me anyway, and I noticed it from the gazillion photos that were floating out, a lot of kids. And that plants that seed, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So many children coming in and painting their bowl, many of them the first time, and adults too. Many for the first time that the adults did it. We had the top 10 Apple Blossom royalty came in as well. I believe probably 9 of the 10 ladies had never participated in the event and or painted a bowl, period, painted anything ceramic. They just had a blast as well.
And some of these bowls are really cool. I mean, some of these are just incredible works of art. I would never.
You saw mine.
Yeah,
you saw
yours,
mine. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't put Raisin Bran in some of these bowls. They're too pretty to look at.
Some of them are incredible. One gentleman comes every year and he's painting all the presidents, and he does just an incredible portrait. Bust of the presidents, and his work. He'll spend hours. He'll get there first thing, and he'll be the last one to leave, and he'll do 1, maybe 2 bowls. Yeah.
So does he do 2 Trump bowls because of the 2?
I think he'll do 2 Trump.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't ask him for sure on that one, but yes, might be. Yes.
Just curious.
Yeah. Well, there's other ones that had 2 terms. Just. Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. Yes.
Speaking of presidents, it was Lyndon Johnson's Great Society legislative program back in the mid-'60s, which was a game changer for a lot of people. It was the war on poverty, and that was basically the seed that started the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. So you guys are celebrating a milestone this year, 60th anniversary. Is that correct?
That is correct. On December 20th this year, we will turn 60.
And there's a big fundraiser coming up, a very unique one, and we're going to touch on that in just a little bit. This is we're building. This is what we call building up. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, you know what's going on in Washington, D.C. with the cuts across numerous federal agencies. The umbrella federal agency that eventually trickles down to the Chelan-Douglas Committee of the Action Council is the Department of Health and Human Services, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then there's a state agency that is
Department of Commerce, yes.
So you know what's going on. Are you afraid to open up your inbox on your email? Is this something that is of concern of you? What's going on now? Is that eventually going to trickle down to your organization? Are you a little worried about the financial stability from the federal government to the Chelan-Douglas Committee of the Action Council?
We certainly are watching it very closely. One of the programs that started in Johnson back in 1964-65 was Head Start. So Head Start has been around for 60 years as well. The Head Start programs in the state were blocked for a period of time in late January of accessing their funds. That was eventually released, and so thousands and thousands of teachers across the country were on the brink of losing all their jobs, but that's been restored. So we are watching closely the Health and Human Services. We also received funding from the Department of Energy for our utility assistance and weatherization program, and then also another government organization called the Corporation for National Community Service, which is our AmeriCorps and Retired and Senior Volunteer program. So all of those are under the possibility of being reduced and or eliminated. Weatherization, energy assistance, and AmeriCorps programs. So we're watching those closely. We have a phenomenal lobbyist in Washington, D.C. That has been the lobbyist for community action agencies since the early 70s. He knows everybody, and he works very hard at building and maintaining relationships regardless of political affiliation.
Is it affecting morale at your offices on Lewis Street or your distribution center out there in North Wenatchee Avenue? Are the folks who work for you directly or indirectly, are they a little nervous?
You know, we've been keeping attitudes positive, and so far we haven't seen an impact, and you mentioned the food service, so the U.S. Department of Agriculture is another source of funding for us as well. So, you know, food security is certainly on everybody's mind, and so we continue to monitor all those programs, and fortunately no cuts yet, but we don't know what's going to lie ahead, you know, really from day to day. And we just try to keep our staff positive and let them know that we're here and we're going to continue to empower the people that we work with on a daily basis, and that's our objective and that's our mission.
It helps that our local representatives at the federal level, Congresswoman Schreier, Congressman Newhouse, our two senators, Murray and Cantwell, they have been a big part of the success of the local organization, your local organization. Yes. They understand the need for the Chelan-Douglas Committee of the Action Council and what you guys do. Absolutely, and you know, across the board, and you mentioned all four of them, and all four of them have been very strong supporters of community action agencies for a very long time. Despite political pressure from elsewhere. And you're going to go to our nation's capital a little bit later on in March, right? That is correct, yes. There's a few of us from Washington State Community Action folks going to Washington, D.C. There will be other community action people there from across the country representing the 1,000 community action agencies in the nation. And we'll be on the Hill in D.C. for a few days and meeting with various folks. Like all nonprofits, or almost all nonprofits, Alan is answerable to a board, which is important, and nonprofits have to raise money to keep themselves going. And we've seen this come and go. A lot of these fundraisers, they come in cycles. Some of them have quite a bit of legs, and then they kind of peter out, and others do different. I mean, we're talking about auctions and banquets and dinners and golf tournaments and having horses defecate on the parade grounds and things like that, freaking gambling. And so there's a real challenge for any nonprofit of any size to find a new and unique way to not only draw attention to your organization, but to raise money. And you may have scored big time with what's coming up in the middle of April. This is cool. You told me about this last time I saw you on the television, but I had to keep it on the QT. Now you can go ahead and spill it. It's public knowledge now. Talk about this. Knowledge, yes. So a very unique and different fundraising event, one that I think people will get behind and support. And so literally we're going to allow individuals an opportunity. I use the word jump. Folks don't really like that term, but to rappel.
from the top of the Residence Inn Marriott here in Wenatchee. That's the newer property down by Walla Walla Park, across from Town Toyota Center. So we're going to provide an opportunity to rappel 80 feet down the side of that building safely. You know, we'll attach a rope to you. We won't necessarily. No. Although I've been threatened of where that rope may be attached on me. But anyway, we'll rappel down safely down the side of the building there. And so it's a pledge-a-thon, so people register. Kind of like a walk or a readathon, and you go out and you get your friends and family to support you. And if you secure at least $1,000 in pledges for a Community Action Council, you too get the opportunity to rappel down the side.
And the people who are actually doing it, I mean, hooking you up and all that stuff, this is a professional organization, Canada-based, called Over the Edge. How did this marriage come to be? Who came up with this idea? Was somebody just surfing the internet one day? This is phenomenal. This is cool.
It is really cool. And yes, and we mentioned AmeriCorps earlier. So 3 or 4 years ago, we had an AmeriCorps member who had reached out to this company, Over the Edge, unbeknownst to anybody else in the office. And last summer, there was somebody with the company that called, and I spoke with them, and they said, well, we found something in our file from several years ago that you had reached out and nothing ever occurred. Would you be interested? I said, well, tell me a little bit more. And so they shared a little bit more, and it took a while to kind of wrap our heads around the concept, of course, do our due diligence on kind of researching the company. Come to find out, they've been doing this for over 20 years across Canada and the U.S., have an impeccable track record, and doing it from buildings, you know, as tall as 400 feet and to about what ours is, around 80 feet. So then we had to find a building and get a building owner or property manager on board with this concept.
It had to be tall enough.
It had to be tall enough.
You had to have access to the roof, stuff like that.
It had to have access to the roof. As you know, the Wenatchee skyline is not, you know, does not have a plethora of tall buildings, and some of those are extremely difficult to access or navigate around because of towers and everything else that have been installed. So
yeah, just about any building in the Wenatchee Valley that has any kind of vertical profile has a cell tower on it.
It has a cell tower or multiples. Right. So the company did the legwork for us for much of it. We were doing our own research, talked to different property owners and looked at different buildings, and the representatives of Over the Edge reached out to management at the Residence Inn, Charlotte Malo there. And
Charlotte's great.
Charlotte's great.
Yeah.
Charlotte is great. Reached out and got a hold of Charlotte, and then started working with Louise, her second in command there, and they've just been great to work with. Over the Edge has already had a crew here. We've been up on the rooftop. They've kind of done their safety profile of the building and where it would all occur and how, and then we got the green light to move forward.
Well, good for Residence Inn, because it's so easy just to say no, or our liability insurance will go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a perfect location, and and I've been at the Residence Inn a number of times until the restraining order. We won't get into that.
Yeah.
And you also have to have a facade that doesn't have like a balcony sticking out. There's a lot of logistical things that need to be taken into account. And they check all the boxes.
They check all the boxes, and you also have to have something to tie off to, and that's the tricky part. And so we worked around that because there really was not a place to tie off on the rooftop. And so what we will be doing is we'll be bringing one of our food distribution trucks on site, and they will tie off from it.
Oh, cool.
So this is something that they've done multiple times when there isn't a way to tie off at the rooftop. Then they bring a vehicle in and tie off of the vehicle. So that's what we'll be doing.
So this is great for either thrill seekers or people who've actually rappelled down the side of a mountain or a building before, or those who have never done it and want to get that. I mean, you can. It's like any other. You don't have to all the way down. If you just want to work your way down, like Batman did, you're fine.
Yeah, absolutely. They have an incredibly skilled team that will be there, and they will also be recruiting volunteers to help out as well. Both what they classify as rope volunteers. So we'll have people volunteering at the top and at the bottom. Experience is helpful, but not required. They do training as well. But we need about 12 rope volunteers, and we're thinking if we have a mix of at least 6 or 8 that have experience or are trained, then we can blend in other folks as well. And then another 40 or 50 volunteers on the day of the event just to help with all the other logistics piece of it. So it's going to take a lot of people to pull it off. No experience is necessary. I have none. I'm registered. I'm going to do it. I've never rappelled before in my life. I've never tried to climb a rock wall or anything like that, but this looks like fun.
When you first mentioned this to me, what was it, a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
and I thought that's a really unique idea, and it's a way to keep fundraising going, and something that's never been done here in the Wenatchee Valley. I thought offices, like the dental office gets together, and all the girls pitch in $100.
Yes,
because it's $1,000.
It's $1,000. Yes,
that kind of deal. I mean, it's like
get your boss over the
stuff like that.
building a teamwork, and that's really what we promoted as. We've approached Wenatchee City Council, the East Wenatchee City Council, commissioners on both sides, sheriff's departments, law enforcement, fire departments, school districts. We're really trying to. It's a team building opportunity, and then there's other local businesses that have signed up teams and are recruiting staff and folks to participate and do this together.
If you go to the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council website, you're going to see all the thing. The dates and the times, the volunteers will be doing their work the day before. The actual rappelling down the side of the Residence Inn there in Walla Walla is pretty much all day on April 19th, right?
That is correct. On April 19th, and we're trying to we're going to create a fun atmosphere because you rappel down, your fame is over in a matter of a few minutes. So what other things can we do to entertain people while they're waiting, because there will be a process, of course, to get the equipment and everything. So it'll be more than just a few minutes of your time to rappel down. So we're planning music and food vendors and hopefully a beer garden and things like that to be a part of it as well.
The minimum donation to do this is $1,000. You can either write a check for $1,000 and do it yourself, or you get together with your friends and make it a fundraiser. But that's the minimum. If you want to raise more than $1,000, that's not allowed.
No, we'll accept it. We will accept it. And then there's the reverse side of that as well. So if a boss is doing this with his staff and says, internally to himself, I do not want to do this, he can set a threshold and say, if you raise a $5,000, I have to go. Or if you raise $5,000, I don't have to go. So you can do the reverse of it as well. So you can put it out there and create as much buzz around it as you want to, and we hope people will create a lot of it.
And it's, you said about 80 feet?
About 80 feet, yep. It's five floors, five stories. So yeah, it's just over 80 feet. We'll say 82 and a half feet. Okay. There we go. 82 and a half feet from top to bottom.
It sounds like it's a blast.
Yeah. How could it not be?
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that I'm a huge thrill seeker, but just the idea of being supported by a group of professionals, both at the top and at the bottom, that are going to be sure that I rappel down safely, and just being able to have that experience in a safe environment.
Again, it's going to be at the Residence Inn just off Walla Walla, 1229 Walla Walla. Everybody knows where the Residence Inn. Beautiful campus too.
Oh my gosh, beautiful facility.
Yeah, good food, and good people,
food, and good people. People are there. Yeah, Charlotte and Louise have just been phenomenal to work with.
Yeah, and Charlotte, good for her. And she's vested in this community. She's involved in boards and organizations. This isn't some fly-by-night organization.
No. Charlotte's been a part of our community for a long time.
Yeah. Anything else, Alan? We have just a couple minutes left. What else is on Alan's mind regarding the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council while I have you here?
We mentioned the empty bowls. If you didn't get an opportunity to paint a bowl, but you want to see them all, you can do that on April 12th. So the Saturday before the rappelling event, April 12th, we'll have the soup dinner, and everybody will come and gather their bowl, and that'll be at the Wenatchee High School from 4 to 7.
I can't believe you had over 600 painters this year. So that is that makes me feel good.
Yeah, double from last year.
Yeah. Best of luck in our nation's capital. I hope you get the message across that we love and need you guys here.
Yes, indeed.
In the big city. So. Alan Walker, the Executive Director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. Don't forget, Doc Severinsen and the NCWLIFE General Orchestra is going to be opening for Toady Fields at State Line, Nevada.
Okay. I was heading down that way this evening anyway, so I'll stop in.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan Walker, it's good to see you, my friend. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, your weather forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up. Time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Collins Fashion's famous buy one, get one sale has begun. That's right. Buy one sale item, clothing item at half price and get the next one free. Collins Fashion still has a great selection of quality fall and winter merchandise. Coats, jackets, sweaters, jeans, tops, PJs, hats, and gloves. Spring merchandise is arriving daily. Your favorite brands like Tribal, Charlie B, Habitat, Joseph Ribkoff, etc. Collins Fashions is where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Housekeeping real quick. Alan reminded me during the commercial break that this big event, the rappelling down the side of the Residence Inn Hotel on April 19th, is an Apple Blossom sanctioned event, which is pretty cool. So again, go to the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council website, get signed up, raise your money for $1,000. You or a coworker or a friend or a family member can rappel down the side of an 82.5-foot building. Alan said he measured it personally, and he wouldn't lie to us. One more look at the long-term forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. March comes our way tomorrow, and this is what the National Weather Service thinks March is going to look like for this country. And as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, where you're going to see, it looks like, on average for the entire month of March, it's going to be a slightly cooler than normal March, a slightly cooler than normal March. And again, these things are subject to change, but they looked at the computer models and they crunched all the numbers and they said this is what they think the temperatures will be like in the continental United States and Alaska and Hawaii for the month of March. And as far as precipitation is concerned, could be a little bit wetter, slightly above normal precipitation for the Pacific Northwest for the month of March. So right now, as it stands, it looks like March, it's going to be a little cooler than normal and a little wetter than normal. Whether that pans out or not, we shall see. In the meantime, from the National Weather Service, and things are looking really good. It's looking nice today. Lots of sunshine, high of 53 degrees. Bring it on, folks. Again, that 53 degrees, it feels warmer than that. We got to 51 yesterday, and I spent about an hour and a half outside between 3 to about 4:30, and it just felt like it was like 70, because I guess we're just not used to it. But it was very pleasant indeed. And we're going to be even warmer today at 53. That's not close to we've seen temperatures in the 60s this time of the year. Not record highs, but we'll take it. 33 for the overnight low tonight. This is just about normal. We'll do it all over again on Saturday. It's going to be a little cooler start to the day, so it's going to take us a little while to warm up, which is why they think maybe just a couple of degrees less than today's 53. And again, just a few high clouds, light wind, about a nice start to March as you can ask for. 35 for the overnight low Saturday night, because we're going to start seeing some clouds roll in Saturday night. Blanket's going to keep us a little bit milder. Sunday, unfortunately, looks to be fairly cloudy. Heading into Sunday, the pattern is going to start shifting. The high pressure ridge, which is in charge now, is going to be replaced by a low pressure system. It's going to work its way from Oregon into our area. It's going to cloud us up. No rain, nothing like that. Maybe a little bit of light snow in the mountains, but nothing really big there. So Sunday, although mild, it's going to be pretty cloudy with a high of 52, 37 for the overnight low on Sunday night. Monday, well, clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon, still mild, 53. Again, our normal high this time of the year is about 46 or 47. One of the nice things, of course, the days are getting longer. We're gaining about 3 minutes of daylight every day. 51 for the high on Tuesday. Wednesday looking good, 52. Thursday looking good, 53. I got to find my golf clubs and dust them off. Alan, same for you. You got to find your golf clubs. I've seen Alan golf. It's not pretty Alan Walker's swing. Alan looks like he's trying to kill a snake with a stick. That's what his golf swing looks like. Everybody have a good and safe weekend. We will see you Monday. Don't forget Bighorns basketball tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.